Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for joining me for a simple pickups video today on the channel. Not a big creative theme or anything behind this one. Just going to look at maybe half a dozen cards that I have picked up over the last couple months. I've really been taking it easy and scaling back my purchases, working on sales and condensing, and trying to exercise patience, saving towards a particular big card. But I do want to stay engaged and involved in the hobby. So I have made some budget pickups, and we're going to look at those today. They're mostly all going to be baseball, but I do want to start off really quickly with a couple of Star Wars cards. Feel free to fast forward if you want, but this one sold me. This is a recent on-demand online release, and if you've followed the channel for long or watched much of my content, you'll probably know that I am an unabashed fan of 1990 Topps Baseball. They were the first cards that I ever opened out of packs when I first got into the hobby in the spring of 1990, winter of 89, spring of 90. And so anything 1990 related, I'm kind of a sucker for. And recently Topps released this Yoda take on a 1990 Topps design Yoda card. And I was absolutely helpless, had to go out and acquire one of these, picked this up for about $4 with free shipping on eBay. And just a really fun and perfect fit card for my collection. This will go into my Star Wars Z folio. And then the other Star Wars card that I have really quickly before we move to baseball, I've shown this set a few times, but I'm working on the 3D lenticular release that they put out back in 2020, 100 card set. They came just 8 cards per pack. Very tough to put together. I think the print run is somewhere in the 700s. Or maybe the 900s, below 1,000 copies of each card. And I've gotten to the point now I have a binder going, and I have more than 80 of the 100 cards. So I've started to look for the singles that I'm missing to complete my set. And this is one that I thought would cost me more. This is Qi'ra, but the reason is this is a part that is played by, Emilia Clarke, the actress who is better known as Daenerys Targaryen from the Game of Thrones franchise. And I kind of thought that stardom would maybe result in this card being a little bit more expensive or popular, but I was relieved to find a copy on eBay that was about $3. Snagged that up, and as soon as we finish today's video, that's going to go into a penny sleeve and then right into the Z folio where I have that set collection. Same Z folio where that Yoda card will be going. So a couple of Star Wars editions. And now let's get to 4 baseball cards that I've added recently. And the first 2 are going to be very similar, and a good segue from that Star Wars 3D card. Managed to land a couple of Shohei Ohtani Topps 3D. Now, this is another product that I've talked about quite a bit on the channel. They started these back in 2018, and they had a 5-year run from 2018 through 2022. And so what I'm trying to do is for certain star players, I've started kind of picking away at their 5-year run and just seeing what progress I can make. Shohei is a player where I'd love to obtain all 5 cards. I don't have the 2018 rookie, which is going to be a very, very expensive pickup, maybe some point in the future. But for now, I couldn't resist adding the 2020. Great image there from the pandemic year. Pretty infamous year in our hobby. For those of us that were involved back then will remember quite well. So let me get a stand for this guy. And this was a cheap, the graded cards that we're looking at today cost, around the price of submitting a card for grading. So these were, very, very cheap pickups. And the other one that I grabbed, the 2022, the final year of his 5-year run of these. So I've got the 3rd year and 5th year Shohei, both in matching PSA 9 slabs. They don't come across as well on camera. I mean, you can see the effect there. But anybody who collected like Kellogg's cards back in the 70s and early 80s, same type of idea. Just really, really cool 3D element. I dig these so much. They didn't parallel the entire base set. It would be a subset of the base set that was really just kind of stars and maybe key rookies, cards like that. But certain players like Shohei, who are big enough celebrities and big enough stars in the game, they are included in all 5 years of the set. So pretty fun runs to work on, and I have some more of those Topps 3D cards that I'll be showing off down the line. Those are just a fun collecting kick of mine and an interesting way, I think, to get into Modern. And then speaking of interesting ways to collect Modern, I have one buyback in today's video that I want to show off. And it's the reason this 1987 pack is out here. So although I began collecting cards in 1990, on the baseball front anyway, like I talked about earlier in the video, definitely have a lot of memories of opening these wood-grained beauties when I was a kid. I collected from spring of 90 through about summer of 96. So I had about a 7-year run collecting as a kid. And during that time, I had 3 favorite players that were sort of on a tier above all the other players in my collection or players in baseball. And those 3 guys were Nolan Ryan, Cal Ripken, and Will Clark. And of course, in 1987 Topps, we have Will's first Topps base card. He was in 1986 Topps traded. But when I was a kid, I always considered the 87 Topps to be the card, the one that I wanted. Although there are a million of them out there, it was one of my most prized cards as a kid. And recently, I found a buyback version. This popped up on eBay from the 2017 Rediscover Topps buyback promotional program, the 1987 Will Clark. Now, for those who are curious, this will not make the buyback Frankenset because I already have a buyback version of this card from a different buyback program that's in that binder in slot number 420. So this is just an extra one for me that is part of my kind of Will Clark collection and sentimental baseball card collection. I haven't seen another one of these that I've been able to try to get from the 2017 Rediscover Topps buyback program. This is the first one I've been able to get my hands on. It surfaced as a buy it now for a little bit under $30. And at that price point, for the way that I collect and for what Will Clark meant to me as a collecting youth, and the fact that I have a pretty extensive buyback collection and a passion for these buybacks, this card just couldn't have been more up my alley. It was one of those where when the save search was triggered and I got the email about that, I just prayed that it was still going to be there. By the time I checked the link, thankfully it was still there. And that was an instant smash of the buy it now button. So again, a card that is unique and I understand may not appeal to many collectors out there. But that's what makes this hobby great. We all have our own journeys, our own stories, timelines, and history in this great hobby. And for me, 1987 Topps number 420, Will Clark, is a big part of that history. So just can't emphasize enough how much it made my day to find that one. Sort of a diamond in the rough. Never thought I would see it, and really, really glad to own it. And then we're going to close out, as I often seem to do on this channel, with a gift from a hobby friend. I sound like a broken record, and I'm certainly not the only person who says it on the regular, but this community is just incredible. And I have made so many lifelong, meaningful friendships in this hobby due to the YouTube platform. And one of those, someone who I consider a dear friend and talk to just about on a daily basis, is my friend and yours, Dylan from Double D Vintage Baseball Cards. And we did recently a blind trade. Our birthdays are just a couple of days apart. So right around the time of our birthdays, we came up with a little idea. We each spent $100 on the other guy without the other person knowing what we were picking up. And then we sent each other those cards. And we just kind of did a blind trade. We kept it off YouTube just to keep it relaxed and easygoing and be able to enjoy the cards and kind of talk back and forth as we open them. But Dylan has been showing a few of the cards that I sent him recently, and I've been doing the same. And I have one today that he included in my side of the blind trade that absolutely knocked my socks off. It's a card that I had seen on his channel and remember just being so envious of because it looked incredible. And he had an extra copy, and I now have one in my collection in the Double D graded baseball card slab, nonetheless. Or on top of that, we have the 2011 Topps Chrome Mickey Mantle, the black refractor, numbered to 100. This is an amazing card for so many reasons, not the least of which is obviously the personal connection to Dylan and our friendship, which I will think of every single time I look at this card. The fact that it has a color-matched flip here on the slab. Dylan and his wife doing an awesome job with those labels. You've got the pack insertion odds right on here. The fact that it's a black refractor numbered. Got the serial numbering right on here. Dylan has probably the best collection that I'm aware of modern post-playing era Mickey Mantle cards, especially Topps Chrome refractors and numbered refractors like this. This is just incredible. I love 2011 Topps. Aside from all of that, I think the design is just classic, and it's a set that is going to be looked upon favorably, I think, in the history of our hobby. To me, it's a top 5 set of the 21st century so far that Topps has put out. You've got the Mike Trout rookie and update that year. Freddie Freeman rookie as well, who just had a really big postseason. And then fantastic cards like this Mickey Mantle. Again, saw this on Dylan's channel and was just completely blown away by how incredible it looks, especially in this clear, crystal clear slab with that beautiful matching black label. I'm just really, really I feel honored to own this card, Dylan. So can't thank you enough. I know we've already talked about it, but can't thank you enough for passing this on. This is going to be a treasured part of my modern baseball card collection for as long as I'm in the hobby. And it's the final card queued up for today's pickups video. So a little bit of everything, some 3D, some shiny legends from a friend, buybacks, Star Wars, a little bit of my hobby history. Certainly appreciate you stopping by and giving me a few minutes of your valuable time. I know there's so much awesome content out there, so I really appreciate it so much. And I'll be back soon with some more of it in the near future. Till then, keep enjoying the hobby, everybody. See ya.